Alright, so, yeah, this is taking a little longer today than I'd hoped. A few technical issues, but I don't know why I'm telling you that. Anyway, right, folks, it is time to do another quick catch-up on my life while I build some Lego, because why not? This is set number 60073, the utility truck. I believe it's a service truck, sorry. And I wanted to build this today because, one, it's quite a fun little truck, and two, comes with a toilet. That's a porta potty. So yeah, it's quite funny. One thing I've learned recently is that the resolution or color grading on my laptop monitor isn't very good. So the difference between dark greys and blacks, it's a bit of a pig to tell apart. So yeah, I'm going to be using paper instructions. But, you know, the general idea here, if you don't know, I am transgender, and I'm going to basically talk about the stuff that's been happening with me recently. So let's start, I suppose. Oh, before I do start, I have already put together the figs. It's going to be two little dudes. Obviously, he's the foreman because he's got the tie, and he's the worker because he's got the ear defenders. They're quite fun. But yes, as I say, I am transgender. I am currently going through the NHS pathway. And if you want more details on how that can or can't work, or, you know, the issues that we face, there are people out there who do better videos than me. This is just me literally going on about what's happened in my life and all that sort of jazz while I build some Lego. So, I mean, the aim, it would be nice to stream, but I can't be bothered to set everything up. I've had enough issues this morning just getting this going. So anyway, yeah, I went for my referral a long time ago now, well, longish, 2019, I think it was, where I went for my referral. So that's been a few years. And then at the start of this year, in January, I had my first appointment. So about 5 years wait, maybe 6. Well, it was 5 years till I heard from them. But yeah, anyway, again, other people do better videos. So went to that, had to travel about 100 mile, which, you know, not bad. Got myself a hotel. I did a separate video on that. And then, you know, you get through your first appointment, and it is claimed that you'll wait about a year for your next appointment. And mine came in May, which was a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. And then that happened, and the guy wasn't happy with my blood tests. I think I covered this last time out. The doctor wasn't overly happy with the timing of my blood tests, so he asked me to do some more, which I did. And then I heard finally back from them about a month ago. And they sent me a letter for an appointment with one of the nurses. Last week, I think it was, I had an email from my GP, not the GP, the gender doctor, saying that that was in error because I hadn't initiated treatment yet. So I needed to initiate treatment. So they say, what the thing I should do, get onto my GP, here's a list of what we want you to start taking, get onto them and get started. So that's quite exciting, that I am hopefully going to be starting hormone medication at some point in the near future. So yeah, in the meantime, like I say, I've got an appointment with my GP next week. I'm hopeful that they're going to be on board because they have every right to say no if they want to. GPs can literally take what the gender clinics say and go, no. So I'm hopeful that that's not going to be the case. But we'll have to wait and see. And then in the meantime, as I was started to say, I've started electrolysis, which isn't as fun as it sounds. It is something that the NHS do as part of the gender pathway, is hair removal, facial hair removal especially. And the options are quite literally laser or electrolysis. And unfortunately, most of my hair on my beard is grey, and you might not know it, but laser doesn't work on grey hair, which means I had to go with electrolysis. And anybody who says it doesn't hurt is lying. That's part number one. And it's weird that I actually started electrolysis before I've started hormone therapy. So, that's just a fun little thing. And so, it's been all hands on deck, as it were, recently, because I'm having to go to my, every couple of weeks, go to an electrolysis appointment. And then I've suddenly heard from the gender clinic about starting treatment with them. So, it's one of those where, again, because I waited so long, I sit there and say I waited a long time. I got lucky because the wait list now is apparently not fun. So mine came around fairly quickly. I'm making this harder for myself because the stickers are already on the pieces. Got to make sure I get the orientation right. I got very lucky because I only had to wait, 5 years. Which it sounds bad, but I got very lucky on the adult pathway. So that's hopefully going to be starting soon in terms of treatment and stuff. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, the GPs have every right to say no. I hope they won't. But you just don't know until you go and ask. So I'm at the point now where I've got to go and ask. And electrolysis has been weird as well, because I'm not the world's biggest fan of needles, and I know you'll have electrolysists say that they don't use needles, and that is true to a degree. It's not a needle. It's a very, very fine metal probe, which they then stick under the skin and pass an electrical current through. So it isn't fun. But it is also not a needle. That's why I don't have any tattoos or anything. Where's my mug? There. But it's progressing. Obviously, with everything that went on the last couple of years with family and personal issues and stuff, the fact that 2025 seems to be the year where everything's suddenly going, okay, it's all going to happen now. It feels a little strange, having waited so long, and then you don't hear anything for almost 6 months, because, as I say, I had my follow-up appointment in May, and then there was a bit of a backlog, and then he gets on to me at the end of October. But in the terms of the actual wait time, it's not been a lot. I'm flying through this because I've had a couple of technical issues today, which means I've built this thing 3 times. It might feel like I'm just putting it together, but this is how quickly Lego can be built if you know what you're doing. But at the same time, I've had a little bit of practice on this thing. So as I say, it's been a bit of a busy old time in terms of transition stuff. The only thing I need to do now is figure out what it is that I want to do for actual work, because I haven't worked in a while. Just been following personal projects, getting the house right, things of that nature. So now it's time to actually, that's before on, get myself together and figure out what it is I want to do. Because, well, to put it nicely, this hasn't taken off how I want it to. But it was never going to. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just slowly, I'm at the point now where I need to start getting rid of basically all the Lego that I've accumulated. So I need to build it to make photos for listings and stuff. So why not video the build at the same time? This one's just fun because it's a portal. It's a toilet, as they say. So yeah, it has been a weird month, to be honest, because it all seems to have come along at the same time. But then it's quite funny to me because that's cracked. I didn't even notice that it cracked. I have to find a replacement one of those. I don't think I've got one, unfortunately. Oh, no, that's the wrong shady yellow. Yeah. No. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a non-cracked version. Don't know if you'll see that, but yeah, that is definitely got a crack in it. That one hasn't, so that works. Ironically, the first one I found was the light yellow. I don't know what this video is because I keep saying, oh, a lot's happened and I've got 2 things to report on, but at the same time it feels like a lot's happened because, I'm going to electrolysis every couple of weeks. I've got to go and see my GP next week. And I think it's because there was that much sort of waiting around-ish that suddenly it feels like it's all happening in one go. But at the same time, it actually isn't. And at the same time, it's like I've been meaning to make more videos, but haven't. If that makes sense. Yeah, there's that side for now. Okay. Yeah. Right, I had to figure out which way around it went. Like so. Okay. Now we put the stuff in the back of the truck. There's a fire extinguisher. Shovel. The one thing that the GIC doctor did say was that he was disappointed in my hormone levels because obviously I've been sourcing them myself and it's not been the best stuff, and I've not really been doing the right dosage, so he wants to bump everything up, which I think is something I'm slightly apprehensive about because, well, I haven't had much luck with some of the things, some of the tablets and stuff. They can, you are messing with your endocrine system, so it does affect your mood. And in my case, there was one that really did affect my mood, so I stopped using it. But that's upside down. That'll teach me to pay attention to what I'm doing. There we go. It's a shame that Lego didn't partner with somebody like DAF or something like that, because it would have been fun to be a little... Oh, I put the tyres together in advance because it's not very good cinema, shall we say. Ah, one little utility truck. Beep, 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 beep. And you may reason there's a lot of pieces. That's because we've got a porta potty and a trailer to make. So yeah, I've been trying to make this video for a couple of weeks because it's like, oh, there's so much stuff happening, and I've gone through it in 10 minutes. Yeah, it's there's been more to it than just that, but that's been the main thing, is that that's what one of them. You know, I've started the pathway, as it were. The fact that I started hair removal before hormones is just weird. And I'm also trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. The one thing that I wanted to do was obviously, you know, get rid of my Lego. And now I can't, unfortunately. Well, I wanted to do it in like a private business, with my own premises. But unfortunately that's not going to work. So, there it is. So now my options are eBay. And I didn't want to use eBay because I've had issues with eBay just being, you know, receiving deliveries and stuff. So to actively sell on there as well, that's something that I didn't really want to do. But now I've not got a lot of choice. So a lot of my Lego is now going to start being sold because it takes up too much room. It's very simple. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what it is I want to do, and I've got no room because the house is full of Lego. So that's the next thing to do, is to start clearing all that out. That way up. Thank you. And then we'll worry about everything else afterwards. Oh, well, there's no mudguards on the trailer. That seems an interesting choice. I'm sitting there thinking road safety, and it's like, put some mudguards on there. Nah. I never thought, wow, I can't open the... Okay. So the trailer then hooks into the back of there. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Ah, toilet time. Porta potty time. Whatever you want to call it. Do-do-do. Yeah. I'm thinking about what I've recorded now, and it's just like, yeah, I had so much to talk about, and then it hasn't happened because I didn't think about anything. But yeah, so it's one of those. I think I had a comment the last time I did something like this about somebody sitting there worrying that it was too late for them, and it's just like, no. You can transition whatever age you want, and it's not too late. Mileage may vary, results may vary, but you know, it's not too late to find happiness and to figure out who you are. That's how I view it. But at the same time, you know, I look back, I would have loved to have figured this out 5-10 years ago, however long ago it might have been, rather than, you know, only now figuring it out in my 40s. Toilet paper. But, you know, regrets like that, it's just not healthy. Which way does this go? And if you want to know more about, like, I missed that piece, I'm an idiot. I'm looking down at my spare bits and I'm like, what's that for? It goes, I skipped a step, it goes there. Just fills the gap when you put the roof on. Oops. what happens when you talk and build. So yes, I had a lot more news, but turns out I didn't actually have that much news. So, where are you from? 1 and 2. Where have you come from? Have I rushed this that much though? I've missed a piece. That's what it's sounding like, isn't it? Right, let's carry on. Oh, it goes there. I didn't. I just wasn't looking. Ah, dear. Anyway. So, yeah, where was I? The other thing that they recommended is that I start voice therapy. But I haven't heard anything about that yet. That's also something that's supposed to happen, but I don't know in terms of what the team, the voice therapy team is like around where I am. So I haven't heard anything yet in regards to that. But at the same time, you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I've got one of those weird voices where, oh look guys, unisex toilet. One of those voices where it's a little monotone at times, but it doesn't really bother me until I record myself like this and listen to it back. But yeah. That's the toilet. And then that goes on to the trailer. There we go. The little guys. Oh, and here's a jackhammer, which we can put in the trash. One thing I will say about this build, because I've, like I say, with technical issues and that, I've built this like 3 times now. It's quite fun. It's fairly simple. From 2015. I don't know why I didn't mention this at the start. This is a 10-year-old Lego set. 225 parts. The image, the only issue I have is that the toilet is being hoisted up while the guy's inside it. Which, on comedy movies and stuff, brilliant. But for an actual workplace, I'm pretty sure that's an OSHA violation. Or a health and safety violation, whatever country you might be in. But yeah, there we go. It's got a lift on the back with a crane, which extends eventually. I'm not quite sure if it'll reach the top. Oh yeah, I've got to go up like that. Wow, that doesn't actually feel... That's going to be a bucket of lift up. But yeah, they've got the barriers for safety and your tools and stuff. So yeah, like I say, quite a fun little set. Quick little set. Oh, fragile little set. But yeah, I had big ideas for this video. I genuinely, I was like, I've got so much to talk about, and I've talked about 2 things. I don't know. Well, anyway, there's a build of set 60073 with me waffling on a bit about 2 different things, and I'll leave you there. Okay, see you later.